With wisdom and power, I have resources to do great things. Ayana Barusake. With wisdom and power, I have resources to do great things. I know Prekosake anointed me to do great things. God has anointed me to do great things. God has anointed. God has anointed me to do great things. Shate bene brasso venente car. I brato brandendo zizalita bar. Oh Jesus. Mahale brato brandendo zizalita. Shut down. I'm anointed to set the captives free. I'm anointed. Oh, I'm anointed. I'm anointed. Anointed. Oh, Jesus. Anointed. Oh, my goodness. I'm anointed. Lord, we bless you. Jesus, 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 we bless you. Oh, Jesus, we bless you. Jesus, we bless you. Oh, Jesus, we bless you. Jesus, we bless you. Jesus, we bless you. Jesus, we bless you. Oh, we give you praise, Lord. We give you praise, Jesus. We say thank you. We give you praise, Jesus. We say thank you. We give you praise, Jesus. We say thank you. We give you praise, Jesus. And we say thank you. We give you praise, Jesus. We say thank you. Oh, thank you. The soon coming King. The King who was. The King who is. And the one who is to come. That is why he is still the soon coming King. Oh, Father, we bless you. 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 For this is a new dimension, a new realm at which you are taking us into. Father, we say thank you. 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 Who is like unto thee, O God? Who is like unto thee? Who can be compared? There is nobody. Jesus, you are mighty. Jesus, you are mighty. Jesus, you are mighty. Oh, we worship you. 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 Aradi braso brende keli. Mampero te brazuzi delente elekebi. Apatuza brende bredoza jete. Ikapali habarunte brezuzali. Ah, Jesus. He who has anointed an individual. Just like the oil that the Lord God has poured upon the head of Samuel. The Bible says it ran down through his beard. Father, we thank you for the fresh unction of your anointing. For the fresh unction of your anointing. For your power. For your power. For your power. For strength. For the anointing. For the outpouring of your spirit. For the outpouring of your spirit. For the outpouring of your spirit upon all flesh. Jesus, we thank you. Jesus, we thank you for strength, for capacity. Ratina Brasude. Jesus, we are grateful. Jesus, we are grateful. Jesus, we are grateful. Jesus, we are grateful. United States of America is grateful. United States of America is grateful. Comfort Olamide, she's grateful. She is grateful. Jesus, thank you for using us as voice unto nation. For using us as voice unto nation. A voice that can be terminated. Father, we thank you. Father, we thank you. Father, we thank you for the anointing we have received. For the anointing we have received. For the anointing we have received. Through this anointing, we are doing that which we are doing. Jesus, your anointing, we say thank you. We say thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Jesus, for the anointing. For the anointing. For the anointing. Anointing to do great things. Anointing to serve. Yes, yes. Anointing to serve. 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 Anointing to be steadfast. Anointing to be steadfast. Anointing to serve. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You are the one that announced, brethren. Yes, he is the announcer of men. He is the announcer of men. Jesus. Thank you for this fresh anointing. Thank you for the oil of gladness that you have poured upon us, even upon our nation. Lord, we are grateful. Lord, we are grateful. Jesus, 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 we are grateful. Arate brando sazetende velikanta. Aruben breso brekentika. Zukalia parukene brezevi. Jesus. Thank you, Jesus, for the anointing. For the anointing. Thank you for the anointing. Thank you for the anointing. I don't think you have prayed a prayer of anointing, but tonight, this night, the Lord just said we should appreciate Him for the anointing. We should appreciate Him for the anointing. We should appreciate Him for the anointing. Oh my God. Thank you for the anointing. Thank you for the anointing. Anointing to do great things. Anointing for exploits. Anointing for mighty works. Anointing. Oh my God. Thank you. Jesus, thank you. Jesus, thank you. You are the announcer of men. You are the Alafrato Sate. Thank you for the anointing to serve. Thank you for the anointing to serve. Anointing to serve. Anointing to be diligent. Anointing to be steadfast. Anointing to sit and learn at your feet. Anointing to walk with you. Anointing. Anointing. Jesus. Jesus. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. The Bible says that anointed my head with oil and my cup runneth over. It was the anointing on your head. It was the anointing upon our head that makes the cup runneth over. It was the anointing upon our head that made the cup runs over. Jesus, we are grateful. Jesus, we are grateful. Who is like you, oh Lord? Who is like you? Who is like you, oh Lord? Who is like you? The weight of who you are, no one can carry. Who is like you, oh Lord? Who is like you? Who is like you, oh Lord? Who is like you? The depth of who you are, no eyes can see it. You are worthy, oh Lord. You are worthy. You are worthy, oh Lord. You are worthy. Can we bless the Lord today for the anointing? For the anointing. You don't understand. If there is anything we might eventually pray for in the morning, usually our first 30 minutes is Thanksgiving. It's Thanksgiving. It's Thanksgiving. In the book of Psalms, the Bible lay more emphasis on praises, entering into his court with praise, entering into his gate with thanksgiving. So we appreciate the name of the Lord for 30 minutes. Just 30 minutes. And the next 30 minutes, we go into what the Lord has for us. But can we thank the Lord for anointing? Can we thank the Lord for anointing? Peradventure you can't see the anointing, but you are among those who sings or probably says the Lord's Prayer, who says the prayer of the lost shepherd. It said, and thou shalt anoint my head with oil, and thou shalt anoint my head with oil, and my cup runneth over. The Lord God has anointed you. He has anointed you for signs and wonders. He has anointed you for significant purpose. Can you thank him? It is the anointing of the Lord that makes you see this post and to be able to join. God has anointed you for a time such as this. Just to pray. Just to pray. Because he has anointed you to do great things. He has anointed you to do mighty things. Can we thank him and say, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus, for your anointing. For your anointing. For your anointing. For your anointing. The anointing of the Lord gives man authority. The anointing of the Lord gives man access. The anointing of the Lord opens doors. The anointing of the Lord gives you resources. The anointing of the Lord is without blemish. The anointing of the Lord opens doors. The anointing of the Lord gives access. The anointing of the Lord has no limitation. Oh my God. Oh my God. Thank you for your anointing over the life of every individual, over the life of this nation. Father, we thank you. Father, we thank you. Father, we thank you. You are not a man, you do not lie. You are not a man, you do not lie. You are truth to your word. 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 My God. My God. My God. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your anointing. 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 Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you for your anointing. Anointing to do great things. Anointing to do great and mighty things. Anointing for exploits. Anointing that came with the wisdom. Anointing that came with wisdom. Anointing that came with wisdom. Oh, anointing to serve. Anointing to be humble. Anointing to serve. Anointing to be humble. Anointing to be diligent. Anointing to sit in the place of prayer. Jesus. Thank you. You don't understand. There are graces. There are graces. There are graces. There are graces. Anointing to be committed. Anointing to sit in place of prayer. Anointing to pray. Anointing to study the word of God. Anointing to be diligent in little things. He who is faithful in little. Anointing to be able to pamper that which the Lord has given unto us. Anointing just to continue. Anointing to forsake the audience. Anointing to forsake those behind you, backbiting you. Anointing to pursue after God. Anointing to focus on the aim. Anointing to focus on the goal. Anointing just to keep pushing. Jesus. Oh my God. Oh my God. My God. My God. My God. My God. My God. Thank you for the anointing. Thank you for the anointing. Thank you for the anointing. If not for the anointing, where would we have been? 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 If not for your anointing, Jesus. If not for your anointing, Jesus. Where would we have been? 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 Jesus. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Father. Thank you, Father. For your anointing. For your anointing. For your anointing. For your anointing. Jesus, we praise you. Jesus, we praise you. Jesus, we praise you. We praise you. We praise you. We praise you. We praise you, Lord. We say thank you, Father. We say thank you, Father, for the anointing. Anointing that came with so many packages. Yes. Father, we bless you. Father, we bless you and we worship 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 you. Oh, Jesus. 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 Thank you. Jesus. Ah, my God. My God. My God. My God. My God. My God. Oh, I'm thoroughly furnished with wisdom and power. I have this, yes, to do good. Yes, yes, yes. Ah, oh my God. With wisdom and power. I have resources to do what you say. Hey, 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 hey. This is not just mere anointing, but the anointing is coming with extra package. Extra package such as resources to do great things. Resources, all that you need. I mean, all that you need. All that you need to continue. My God. To do what you say. I'm thoroughly furnished. Wisdom and power. I have resources to do what you say. Oh. Haraki bana braso kebe. Mountain tofatos. Ikaparante brakosake. Ereti kabalante bratula. Shabaladem brakazuvaranda bratikaladi. Erobe bebinom razoza venete elikabi. Shababalate broso zoveleti. Rapate pompa rakia kabai. Eroti kaprinti brakuza sitete. Asati tanteliaba. Mepa parati kabaraba bombrete behes. Marati kombre zoza vita. Satete tete 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 lika parante. Erapi pampe roka bro. Zete tete tombarati. Ebretato sasika lakife. Ekaparate brababa buzu veleke. Rapi pape pompa rati karate ababa. Oh rapito breketo sasi. Shete te 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 la kapai. Rapa papa rapa papa rapa pam. Rapa papa papa rapa pe. Meko wakaruke teleketi la barumpe. Marapi pombre so sate brekete. Malika balanda bado so zekete kurikwa. Erete to barame boso susubi. Arati peto kapambe. Mambreto brasuzu valente kilaha. Asuku kuku kakaparate. Erapi papelon barande bratia. Mento ti kaparati kapapapapaparapapa. Epapaparapapam. Rapapapapapapa rupaparupa. Abisu sunam breketi lado sasikete. Arake ba pelon brekande. Urati kabrazusave. Esa palihanda brako brekete. Oh rabinam brete bozozo velekete. Asate te kebebele te keleke paparate. Arapa piparate pepe rukabambro. Ereto brazuzu velenteli. Oh rakabababem rakete. Satete peloko barande. O kapa ruka baraba. Mesote te tura bambelende lada. Oh, shahani kabarande brai. Me cofre tu sasente e le bambele. Ale kapa peloka baruka bai. Rebebebele de Bicarambrende Bocoto Brete. Masuti Caparante Bre. Ashapapa Rabapa Barua Baba. Aroke Brendem Rososuati Kileke Lepaba. Arapapa Pompel. Mesuta Kete Leke Beruntai. Oh Jesus. Oh Jesus. Antito Ranebrasia. Oh, we bless you, Jesus. Oh, we bless you, Jesus. Oh, we bless you, Jesus. Oh, we worship you. Oh, we worship you. Oh, we worship you. Oh, we worship you. We give you praise, Jesus. We say thank you. Thank you for your anointing. Thank you for the oil of gladness. Thank you, Father. Thank you, Father. Thank you, Father. Thank you, Father. Thank you, Father, for the privilege to access your throne. Thank you for the privilege of the anointing. Thank you for the power of the oil. Thank you for anointing us afresh. Thank you for the oil of gladness. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Lord. Lord, we give you praise. Lord, we give you praise. Lord, we give you praise. Jesus be praised. Jesus be praised. Jesus be praised. Jesus be praised. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you, Lord. Oh, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Father. For in Jesus' mighty name we have given thanks. For in Jesus' mighty name we have given thanks. We are going to be praying some certain prayer about the anointing. But firstly, can we plead the blood of Jesus upon our land? Can we plead the blood of Jesus upon our land? Can we plead the blood of Jesus upon our land? In the book of Joshua, oh my God. In the book of Joshua, the Bible says he gave them an instruction to put the mark of the blood. To put the blood as a mark at their doorstep. This will make them identify those who are for Christ. Can we plead the blood? Can we plead the blood of Jesus upon our nation, upon United States of America, upon nations across the world? Lord, we plead your blood. Lord, we plead your blood. Jesus, we plead your blood. Jesus, we plead your blood. Jesus, we plead your blood. Let your blood, let it speak. Let your blood, let it speak. In this nation, your blood. This nation receive the blood of Jesus. Let the blood of Jesus come and antagonize every other blood constraining God's blood. Jesus. What the Lord God, the vision the Lord is showing me. The vision that the Lord is showing me. The vision that the Lord is showing me concerning this. This is the blood of Jesus. This is a white stripe. It is more like the Christmas. He uses the red and then the white. White, the holiness. The red, which is the blood. To celebrate Christmas. The United States of America is of the Lord. It is just the devil trying to manipulate the thoughts of human. God has placed this nation. The nation has started with the Lord already. Now it is left for us to take that territory back again for you. The men of old has fought for the nation, has fought for the peace of the nation. We won't stop. We won't stop. We won't stop. We would continue from where they started. We will continue from where they left the banner and pick up the banner of Christ. Lord Jesus, we pray. We pray for your blood. Let your blood be a mark upon this nation. Let your blood be a mark upon this nation. Let the blood of Jesus be a mark upon this nation. May it not be known. May it not be known that I am in this nation and there is no revival. The blood of Jesus. The blood of Jesus. The blood of Jesus begin to speak. The blood of Jesus begin to speak. Let there be purity. Arate brakuza sekete. Oh Jesus, all across the 50 states in the United States of America, Jesus, let your blood be evidence. Jesus, let your blood be evidence. 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 Alekoro kaparanda bra. Membro so sate telebrati. Zeke pepiko paraki kai. Membro so asai. Oh sate teleke peru kapa. Arote te pepe kaparante. Jesus, we ask. We plead the blood of Jesus. 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 We plead the blood of Jesus upon this nation. Upon this nation. Upon this nation. Arati baru sate kebrente. Ali kaparanda brazuza vele. Mapiluta rababia mando brekoto. Zeke bepelete beruka paranda brasuza. Jesus, United States of America is yours. Let your blood, let it cleanse. Let it cleanse every infirmity. Every infirmity, every infirmity, every infirmity. Kapeko parati karanda brasu. Zete pelo maru merekita. Ebrasu sati frete. Laiko paru tepene. Marapi tu zuzuvele. Akope tu shashikenetelia. Rati brando breke zuzuvelete. Jesus. Ekopa perunta riasa. The earth is the Lord and the fullness thereof. Jesus, we plead the blood of Jesus. Let your blood saturate this nation. Let your blood saturate the nation. Let your blood saturate this nation. Let your blood saturate this nation. Revive thy work, O Lord. Revive thy work, O Lord. Let your blood speak. Let your blood speak. Every state, all the 50 states in the United States of America, receive the oil of gladness. Be anointed. Arate bramba rukene bresute. The blood of sprinkle. The blood of sprinkle. The blood of sprinkle. From Alaska, New Jersey, Alabama, Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York, oh Jesus, North Carolina, Minnesota, Milwaukee, Wyoming, Jesus, every state in the United States of America, receive the blood of sprinkling. The blood of sprinkling. The blood of sprinkling. Eko paranda brasi. Mento fatu satente likaba. Shabilam bradu vrekezusa atili. Eroke recombrandozi. Freketombi katu kalate varanda brasua. Jesus, send forth revival again. Send forth revival again. Men of old has done it. Yes, men of old has done it. It can happen again in our generation. It can happen again in our generation. That there is a revival. There is a revival outbreak in the United States of America. Be it in Maryland, wherever it is. Jesus, in Washington DC, that there is a revival. 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 Michael Freco Sinante. Ibrando Brekende Belwa Papa Rutende. Asuku Kuku Papi Prutuzu. Shekatele Kabelu Kabaruka Baba Baruketende. Mambreto Vreco Zozo Velente. Jesus. There is a revival. Aletola babala dem brende bruku bregede. Rapa pipo borom brabebe. Eko kwa reke bramba baba. Eka baruka brendo zazika teo velende litaba. Asiko fleke tu kapa. Mahli brazuzu velete ndi paruta. Esa pika belem bruku bregede. Oh, Rando Bredne Zuzu no Barande. Orati Kabinam Brazuzu Veletias. Oh, Jesus. Masika Wakapelete Beli. Rapapi Combreko Vekade Gdos Zekete Likaba. Mente to Parapi Papepo Sotantele. I love Venentia. Lord, we praise you. Blessed be your name, Jesus. For in Jesus' mighty name, we are still praying. Can we pray for the anointing of the Lord? The Bible says in the book of Psalms 25 that I would anoint the head with oil and your cup shall run over. When the anointing of the Lord is being poured upon states in the United States of America, when the anointing of the Lord is being poured upon this nation, there are some certain things that needs to begin to overflow. The land itself is filled with milk and honey, and all these are access to it. They begin to have an expansion. Can we pray for the anointing of the Lord upon the nation, upon all 50 states? The anointing of the Lord, 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 the anointing of the Lord upon all 50 states. Jesus, we ask for your anointing. The anointing of the Lord. Lord, anoint the United States of America. Anoint the United States of America. Anoint the United States of America. Lord, anoint the United States of America. In the name of Jesus. In the name of Jesus. Pour your oil upon the nation. Lord, anoint the United States. Anoint the United States of America. Anoint the United States of America. Jesus. 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 Anoint the United States of America. Anoint this nation. Anoint this nation. Anoint this nation. We need your anointing. We need your anointing. Anointing for exploit. Anointing for wonder. Anointing for mighty works. Anointing to do exploit. anointing to shake the earth, anointing to be a pace setter, anointing, Jesus, 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 anointing, Lord, 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 anoint us, Jesus, anoint us, Lord 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 Jesus. Marati baru zeketelikaba, embroto brazuzu veleti, aruke brebebedelika barukabe, membro so soto vretetelikaba. Lord Jesus, anoint us, Jesus, anoint us, anoint us, anoint us, anoint us, anoint us, anoint us unto good works, anoint us for signs and wonders in this nation. We become a replica of Jesus. We become a replica of Christ Jesus. Wherever we go, 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 wherever we go. Arati barun zembrendevi, aili kabarun tebretebi, marapi pambroso sakati, zekedin kambrato vrekete. Jesus. The Bible was laying emphasis about Jesus and his disciples. Jesus and his disciples. The name Christians was not given to them by themselves. People saw them acting like Christ, imitating Christ, doing the things that Christ ought to do. And these people think out loud and said, these people are like Christ. They are Christians. They are Christians. They imitate Christ. They begin to do things just like Christ. Can we pray for the anointing? Anointing to distinguish individuals. Anointing can distinguish a nation from each other. Yes. Anointing can make a nation stand out. That is why it is possible for some certain nation to get to some certain territory, because there is an anointing. Because the anointing of the Lord is working in their favor. Because the anointing of the Lord is working for their favor. In their favor. Jesus. Oh. Alika barande brasuze. Efafinu feroto bragando brasa. Genesis 31 and verse 13. The Bible says, I am the God of Bethel, where you anointed a pillar and made a vow to me. Now arise, go out from this land and return to the land of your kindred. Go out and take that land. Go out and take that land. It is time for you to take authority. It is time for the anointing of the Lord to begin to speak. You have prayed it. Jesus, anointing for exploits, anointing to take a bold step. United States of America, receive it. Comfort the Lamide, receive it. Anointing to know the next step to take. Anointing not to just be a personal person, just to not be a usual person. A rapino brezu. Fetuka parante bai. Mambreso satikwa kapi. Zeke pepikom bra papikwai. Erotika broso swatanteti. Rate brambe broto vrekeduai. Oh Jesus. Aiko barande brazuze telikai. Oh rati boranda brazuzu belentelia. Araka baba papa ruka boranda brazuzu beleti. Oh sai kapi kabalante beluka baruka baba barua baba. Arapa pimbruto rua gabrundu frekede. Eswatan telia da barute. Arapiko paraki paperum brakia. Ezuti kakwa kwete velenteri. Ilaitu brando sasuala te kelebrende bratua. Eko papiku karake paperu. Reto vrasu zukelendis kaban bretendi. Aratua te kwa papi kwampa. Meko fueto si santeli. Rapi kapai. Mesotati te loko parandi. Rete vreku tu ruabai. Shapalate mbrezo zasikete. Jesus. Aleko mbranzo zekete. Iko kwa tekeleke belika barunde. Asapelembra zazekati kalika barande. O rababi bambarate brende breko zakelete klababambeleti. Shabarande broko vrekete. Marati branzo zekete tilakabai. Jesus. Anointing for experts. Anointing to set captive free. Anointing to stand out. Anointing to be distinguished among the equals. Oh, Father, we bless you. Thank you, Jesus. For in Jesus' mighty name, we have to pray. In the book of 1 Samuel 9 and verse 16. 1 Samuel 9 and verse 16. The Bible says, tomorrow about this time, I will send to you a man from the land of Benjamin, and you shall anoint him to be the prince over my people in Israel. He shall save my people from the hand of the Philistines. For I have seen my people, because their cry has come to me. I'm going to retwist that book, that part of the Bible. It says, tomorrow by this time, I will send to you a man from the land of Zion, and you shall anoint him to be prince over the people of the United States of America. He shall save my people from the hand of whatever is happening presently. For the Lord God has seen his people, and he has heard their cry. Can we pray that the Lord God will send forth revival again? Revival can come in as a person. Yes, revival can come in as a person, and revival can come in as a program. Of course, if it's going to be a revival, the Lord God is going to send forth his son. Send forth a man who he has prepared for that nation. Can we pray that the Lord God send forth revival? God send forth revival. Send forth revival. Send forth revival. Revival that will set the atmosphere on fire. Revival that would awaken souls. Revival that would awaken dead altars. Revival. 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 Echo kwate. Revival Jesus. Revival Jesus. Revival Jesus. Send forth. Send forth revival. Send forth revival. Revival that will cause an awakening. Revival that will cause an awakening. Jesus send it forth. We need your revival. We need your revival. We need your revival. We need your revival, oh Lord. We need your revival, oh Lord. We need your revival, oh Lord. Revive us again. Revive us again. Revive us again. Revive us again. You've sent forth men of old. Lord, in this our generation, send forth another Savior. Send forth another Savior. Send forth a revivalist. Send forth an evangelist. Send them forth. Send them forth. Those you want to use for the growth and the betterment of our nation. Those who want to use for the growth and the betterment of our nation. Lord God, send them forth. Lord, send them forth in their multitude, in their numbers, in their thousands, in their tens of thousands. Jesus, send them forth. Jesus, send them forth. Jesus, send them forth. 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 This is not just going to be a regular gathering. It will be a gathering for soldiers. A gathering for men who are ready to be built. A gathering for men. Arate brando brasuzekete. Marco barutende brezu. Fatiti fenento frati kapai. Iruka paparante kroto. Sete pepico parante. Jesus, by your mercy, by your mercy, by your mercy, by your mercy, send them forth. My God. By your mercy, send them forth. By your mercy, send them forth. In the name of Jesus. Thank you, blessed Redeemer. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. For in Jesus' mighty name we are still praying. As a result of that prayer that we just prayed, something happened in that same book of 1 Samuel, chapter 15 and verse 1. It said, and Samuel said unto Saul, the Lord has sent me to anoint you king over his people Israel. Now therefore, listen to the words of the Lord. Now therefore, listen to the voice, to the words of the Lord. Can we pray that whoever the Lord God has anointed for our nation, begin to hearken to the voice of God? There is a difference between you being called or sent by God, and there's another difference when you hearken to the word. There's another difference when you hearken to the word. Can we pray that the Lord Jesus will make whoever that has been sent, the Lord God has anointed, whoever the Lord has anointed, that the Lord from henceforth he begin to hearken to the voice of the Lord. Trust and obey him. Begin to trust and obey. If God is giving you a territory, you need to be obedient. Yes, you need to hearken. You have to stay put with God until he gives you a feedback, until he says go. Before you move, you are no calibrato zesentelia taikalia marate brango vrekedes zulwa kai kabalante elebembru. Samuel told King Saul, the Lord God has appointed you, and he told me to anoint you to be the king over Israel, because he has many things he wants to do through you. And all that I just want is that from henceforth you hearken to the voice of the God, of the Lord. You listen to the voice of the Lord. You no longer walk the way you walk. You no longer take the steps you take, but you sat down and listen to what God wants you to do. You no longer do things all by yourself. Many may call it stupid. Many may give you names, but all you know is that I am walking on instruction from the heavenly. I am walking on divine instruction. 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 Mereko barande brasuze. Jesus, that individual whom you have anointed for a nation, that individual whom you have anointed for the growth of the United States of America, help that individual to hearken to your word at all times. Total dependence on you, absolute dependence on you. It is either God or God, no alternative. It is either God or God, no alternative. It is either God or God, no alternative. In the name of Jesus. 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 Oh, blessed be God. Thank you, Jesus. For in Jesus' almighty name we are praying. Amen. For in Jesus' mighty name we are praying. Amen. We are prayed a prayer of revival. What will bring the revival after the prayer is effectiveness. And that's why I'll be using this opportunity again to invite you to YMR USA 2026. This is first of its kind. This is the revival we are praying for. This is the man that the Lord God has sent to the United States of America to come and set the revival fire in our nation. And we are happy to have him. We are happy to host him in Minnesota, July 9 through to July 11. It's going to be a 72 hours retreat, and you don't want to miss it. The theme is the new army. The new army. God is about to raise new army in the United States of America. Why can't you be part of the new army? Why are you running away from being an army of the Lord? We have prayed about it, and here is one of the solutions that truly God answers prayer. So let's have a date in God's presence. Yes, those 3 days will be very, very power packed. I already got my ticket booked, so get ready. Meet me and 999 others and many more volunteers at Minnesota at RCCG Restoration Chapel, Minnesota. You don't want to miss it. God is set to do something mighty, and I wouldn't want you to miss it for a dime. So get ready. It's gonna be a blast. Beyond the prayer, there is now an action. Let's all be there at Minnesota. And I pray that the Lord God, whom we all are going to meet on that day, He would also meet us. Yes, that God will meet each and every one of us, all our needs, in the name of Jesus. Thank you so much. God bless you. We are done. We are about to leave. But before we leave, can we share the grace together? Before that, not to forget, we meet again next Tuesday. 11:30 to 12:30. 11:30 to 12:30 Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, Eastern Standard Time. For West African time, I guess it's 5:30. No, it's 4:30. Yeah, 4:30 to 5:30. 4:30 to 5:30 on Wednesday. 4:30 a.m. to 5:30 a.m. West African time. So Get ready as the Lord God will be helping us again. I'll meet you again next week, Tuesday. I am Comfort Olamide, the Unique Intercessor. God bless you, and let us share the grace together. The grace of the Lord Jesus Christ, the love of God, and the communion of the Holy Spirit rest and abide with us now and forevermore. Amen. Surely God's goodness and mercy shall follow us all the days of our life, and we shall dwell in the presence of the Lord forever and ever. Amen. 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 Peace. Thank you all so much. God bless you. This is the Unique Intercessor, and this is where prayer is flame. We don't only pray, we see the flame when we pray. God bless you, and I'll see you next week again by 11:30 on Tuesday to 12:30 a.m. on Wednesday. God bless you, and have a wonderful time and a blessed week and a blessed day of mercy. God bless you. I present myself to you.